Bring your own guitar, old buddy. Bring your old guitar. We'll talk and drink and laugh and sing, but bring your own guitar.
All right, welcome to BYOG. Jason Whitlock, Jeffrey Steele. And it's just going to be me and Jeffrey today because we got a big topic to talk about, Jeff.
Yeah. No guitars today.
Yeah, no guitars. No one brought their guitars. We just brought our thoughts, our thinking caps, and, no fear. We're going to attack this head on. The Zach Bryan controversy. Zach Bryan, one of the best country music artists working in America today. I love him. Son to me is one of my favorite shows. But he's lost me here with this bad news deal. He's trolling. This is intentional. How you put this song out or a snippet of the song that you know is triggering, and then let the controversy happen, and then you say, well, you haven't heard the full song.
See where it lands. Yeah.
You haven't heard the full song. Yeah. So let's just start from a foundational position for the audience, for everybody. I'm going to read the lyrics that have everyone triggered. Let's just start there. Didn't wake up dead or in jail. Some out-of-town boy's been giving us hell. I got some bad news. I woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I've got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky motherfuckers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try to build a house. No one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The bars stop bumping. The rock stop rolling. The middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news. The fading of the red, white, and blue. I don't like that start to finish, pretty much. And I think,
I don't know Zach, but I think his writing style is kind of stream of consciousness where he just kind of spurts out thoughts because he has a lot of random, unconnected thoughts that end up connected in the end. But just the final line of that song to me is the controversy to me. That's the one that really rubs me the wrong way, and it's a statement. It's a statement. Whether it's just him or you could look at the whole bigger picture, but it's a statement of where we're at right now.
Yeah, people aren't really focusing on the end. The ending is kind of what triggered me.
Yeah.
Not that the rest of it, again, because I'm telling you, I didn't like this pretty much start to finish. Once you're calling the cops cocky MS. It was like, whoa. Yeah. He's definitely trying to say something, do something, trigger something here. Then he starts going off on ICE. ICE is going to come bust down your door, try to build a house, no one builds no more. It's like he's triggering everybody, and this is like the antithesis of Aaron Lewis or Jason Aldean.
Absolutely.
He's playing the other side of this.
Yeah.
But once the heat came, he's trying to say, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, here's my take initially is that if you go back, you just got to go back in time. If you go back to the Dixie Chicks, they had the most American, middle-of-the-road, conservative anthem. Number ones just went number one. Traveling Soldier by Bruce Robinson. One of the greatest songs ever written. It was the peak of their rise to fame. And this song was like, oh my God, they're singing about the thing that we all believe in, the freedom we all believe in. And then Natalie went out in London and in a show and made some really derogatory statements about President Bush. And radio didn't have to do nothing. And radio was the big game back then. Radio didn't have to do nothing. The fans heard what she said. They loved that song. They loved the Dixie Chicks. Dixie Chicks,
yeah.
The name, we go into all that. Overnight, they were done. They've reinvented that band about 18 times since. It's never going to work again.
Help me out here. What year is this?
So this is like 2001, 2000, maybe maybe 2000. It's right around that early 2000s.
Are we a different America now where Zach Bryan isn't going to get canceled? He's not going to be over.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Maybe we can look it up, but I'm trying to remember if it was post 9/11 or pre 9/11. I'm not remembering, but
Butter, help us out. That's what you're here for. Help us out. Dixie Chicks, controversy. Well,
Traveling Soldier.
Yeah. Help us out. No, don't stop talking. He's
yeah,
looking.
Yeah. To your point about the times that we're in now, I think it's really, Jason, it's really the same thing. You're going to see the base, because they keep trying to make the country fan base more liberal and more liberal and more liberal and more liberal. The country fan base, just like America, it's such a microcosm. They're going to speak. And if he's saying something that's making everybody go, fuck yeah, yeah, they're going to be on board. They're going to be on board. But knowing most Americans, they're going to listen to that and go, oh, okay, we're done with him. I'm not saying all. I'm talking about the
just
core.
Just had 112,000 people at Michigan Stadium. Mm-hmm. How do you, Tiffany that works for me, mm-hmm. You know Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Tiffany, she was there, mm-hmm. and she loves Zach Bryan, and I wish she was here right now, because I'm sure she's triggered by this. She doesn't like this, but his music is so good. And the other curveball in this, the guy's got 8 years of military service. Yeah. And it's not like it's 8 years of military service 30 years ago. No. He's only 29.
Yeah, he's recent.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like literally just out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does that not give him some protection?
Maybe.
2002.
Okay, so it was post 9/11. It was post. So the country was in a place of, are you kidding me? You're going to diss our president? We're not going to buy your records anymore. And literally overnight it was over. Now we're in a different era now, and like I said, we're going to see how people, if these younger kids are bought into it and they believe this, they believe it's the fading of the red, white, and blue. They believe the cops are motherfuckers. Then we're here. You know what I mean? But I don't think we are. We'll soon find out.
Now, you got more experience at this than me, obviously. Is this a calculated move?
That's
by
what
him?
it feels like it to me.
It doesn't feel organic to me.
Feels
someone put a battery in his back.
Yeah,
and
because I don't think a publicist would recommend it, and if that, you know what I mean. Like, but it's something you might do on your own. And he didn't really release the song.
No.
So that's another red flag to me. And you know, I sent you some stuff about Aaron Lewis on his release, just to make the point that when he put that song out, he literally got his head cut off by everybody in the industry.
Aaron Lewis, you're talking about.
The year, and it was right in the middle of COVID, right in the middle of statues falling and all the stuff going on. He pointed out the thing about Springsteen in the lyric, which everybody's like, what is he talking about? Bruce Springsteen, he is the man. You know, he is America. And then we saw a year later, Bruce is selling Jeeps and walking with Biden and standing up. He's walking with the man instead of singing songs about the man, which is what his whole career has been. So this is kind of weak to me. We're going to have to wait to obviously see what happens. If he puts it out, is he going to put it out? Will he make an official release, a single, a video? Jason Aldean put it, Jason put it out and said, here it is. And what did the country do?
They love Jason Aldean.
F yeah.
Yeah, but I'm.
And let me ask you this, too, and I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Try that at a small town. It's a true statement, right?
Yes.
You try that at a small town, you're not getting out alive. You're gonna get taken down if you try something like that in a small town. Which, the stuff that's represented in that song, you're not getting out of that town. No, none of this stuff happens in small towns.
They test everything. Someone has decided that this is the time to draw a line in the sand.
I agree with you.
And so you've got
100%.
Zach Bryan, 8 years of military service.
Yes.
His family, mother and father, served in the Navy as well.
Yes.
Someone has said, this is the guy, and he's super talented. I mean, he just had 112,000 people. This is a real test of the public. And I think they're saying, no, the Dixie Chicks days are done. We can do this now. They're saying the music is so good. This guy, he's the perfect guy. He's not, and I mean this is no slight, because I love Jelly Roll's music. But again, if Jelly Roll did this, he doesn't have 8 years of service in the Navy.
It doesn't look the same.
Yeah, it doesn't come across.
So do you think it's more calculated that way?
Yeah, this guy was chosen, and the music system and all these systems feel so rigged to me and so inorganic that they've told him that you can do this, and you're actually going to make more money on the other side. You're actually going to be more popular. That's what they've told him. Now we'll see because keep in mind, these are the same people that said, hey, Hillary Clinton's going to be president. And they got the shock of their life. Yeah. That they misread the American people. And there may be another misreading here as it relates to
that's
Zach.
how I feel. And again, looking back to Aaron, not so much Jason, because Jason, I think the path was paved by Aaron with that song. But boy, the left in that time, we know how powerful the left was at that time with the message, and completely shut him down. But so there were no outlets to find, unless you're streaming it, on your own. You couldn't get that song. You couldn't hear it in a radio format. The public again spoke to what they wanted. The public knows what it wants. You know what I mean? Like it's like what the Oliver Anthony. It's that song. I don't know what you were feeling at that time, but all the guys in the music community here, everybody was texting each other, going like, "Is this a fluke? Is this real? This is not even real. This guy's not even a real artist. Oh, now he's saying he doesn't want to do it for the money." And he didn't. He didn't do it for the money. He was the real deal.
Yes.
And now he's paid the price for not taking the money.
Yes. Because
I think the bigger record companies, like to your point again, would have given him the bag of money to shut him up.
Yeah. But they were definitely.
Here's $10 million. You're not going to put out a song like that ever again. And that's the game. That is the game. You're right.
All right. Let's be fair, and let me read some of these statements from Zach Bryan that he posted on, I believe, Instagram, this first one.
Okay.
I wrote this song months ago. I posted this song 3 months ago as a snippet. This shows you how divisive a narrative can be when shoved down our throats through social media. This song is about how much I love this country and everyone in it more than anything. When you hear the rest of the song, you will understand the full context that hits on both sides of the aisle. Everyone using this now as a weapon is only proving how devastatingly divided we all are. We need to find our way back. I serve this country. I love this country. And the song itself is about all of us coming out of this divided space. I wasn't speaking as a politician or some greater than thou asshole, just a 29-year-old man who is just as confused as everyone else. To see how much shit it stirred up makes me not only embarrassed, but kind of scared. Any of this authentic to you?
I mean,
he's scared. I do believe that.
Yeah. No, but to hear you read it, it's like yeah, okay. That sounds like a real honest sentiment, but. Like, you put it out there. He put it out there. And now he's got time to rewrite the whole lyric.
Well, that's what No. He's stuck.
He can rewrite it anywhere he wants now.
No,
it can turn into a love song.
He's stuck with what he's already wrote, and that's why, as a songwriter, can you pivot from that? Is there a way to? Well, I was joking in the first verse. Now here's what I really think. I mean, how do you pivot from that?
Well, I don't think you can. I think even like in the defense of Springsteen, you just put it out. And you believe it, so you stand behind it, right? You believe it and you stand behind it. And the public's going to either chop you down or they're going to go, yes. And they're going to line up to get it. They're going to want it. Public demand, right? He didn't allow that. He didn't allow that event to happen. He's like pulling the strings right now on what the outcome can be. I mean, he could, and I'm not dissing him. I'm sympathetic to what he's saying. That I would like to believe that that's the truth, and that I really would. I'm a songwriter. Here's my thing. I've told you this before. Our job, short of trying to write somebody a hit song, is to look at the world, the current events, the past, the future, and document it as we see it in our heads, right or wrong, and put it out there for the public to judge if that affects them. It's like Bob Dylan writing "Blowing in the Wind." That song works now for conservatives.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
does. And Bob Dylan never said anything about it. He just wrote it and put it out. He wasn't saying, "Oh, I'm part of the hippie movement and I'm da 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 da." He just put it out there. He just did Bob Dylan. That's why he's Bob Dylan. I think he should just put this song out and let everybody just hear it. That's what you got to do. And then, like I said, they're either going to chop you down or they're going to stand in line to get 3 of them.
All right, let's continue with Zach Bryan's postings on Instagram. Left wing or right wing, we're all one bird and American. To be clear, I'm neither of these radical sides. To all those disappointed in me, on either side of whatever you believe in, just know I'm trying my best too, and we all say things that are misconstrued sometimes. Everyone have a great day. I love each and every one of y'all.
See, when I hear that, it all means nothing to me. I want to hear that. I want to hear him say, "I freaking think that ice sucks." I want to, you know what I mean? Back that up. I don't want to hear you say, "Oops." I don't want to hear "oops." I'm sorry.
Last one, just so we give Zach a full airing.
If I was in the room, I said, "We're going to do this." Like I told Aaron, are we doing it? We're doing it. High five. We believe this. We're doing it.
Well,
let's go. Because you stumble onto a thought. You get to a thought in the thought process, and you go, "Wow, that's a heavy thought." Do we say it? People are going to be pissed, if we say it.
Here's the thing, though. Aaron and yourself knew, hey, man, this is what our audience wants to hear. It's whether or not we got the balls to put it out there.
Yeah.
Zach is saying, I just performed in front of 112,000 people at Michigan Stadium, and I would bet 90,000 of these people don't want to hear this, and they don't want to deal with having to defend this. And so he's going upstream.
Absolutely.
He's making himself a pariah with his own fan base.
Yeah.
Aaron's making himself a pariah with the industry, and he's good with that because he's built a business that doesn't rely on the industry.
Right.
And Zach Bryan is now going to be supported by the industry and probably face a divided, hostile fan base.
Which is also Springsteen was the Rolling Stones, the Bible of rock and roll, and Springsteen's Jesus.
Yeah.
So he always has been, but now you've seen in the last couple of years, even with Trump, coming out and dissing him, and calling him weak, whatever he's called him, but they're trying to rebuild his image now, whether it was the Jimmy Kimmel show when who was the guy that went on there and somebody was on there defending him and for what he'd said about Trump. It was an actor. Well, maybe
Butter
might have been Tom.
Butter,
might have been Tom Cruise.
Who was
it was Tom
Jimmy
Cruise.
Kimmel?
It was Tom Cruise.
Oh, go ahead.
It was Tom Cruise. So my point to that being, they have the power of the machine, like you said. The publicity machines, all those things that make them look like geniuses and the true American, the new true American patriots. This is what the new patriots look like. They build those characters, but they don't understand is that small town America doesn't read those magazines. It doesn't care about those magazines, and it doesn't affect them as much. And they're either going to like it or not like it. They're either all those people that live in those small towns working hard every day. Hear something like that, and or maybe even they're affected by people coming across the border, raiding their farms, taking their stuff. You know, you've been hearing stories about that in Texas and New Mexico. Those people, they're going to hear, what are they going to think of this song? What are they going to think of these thoughts? What are they going to think about him sitting on the fence with his retort about the people coming at him? Yeah, I mean, you either stand behind this or you don't. That's how I look at it.
I thought the White House responded brilliantly.
Yeah.
I really did. I want the statement from the White House. I don't think they could have made their point any stronger. While Zach Bryan wants to open the gates to criminal illegal aliens and has condemned heroic ICE officers, something in the orange tells me a majority of Americans disagree with him and support President Trump's great American revival. Godspeed, Zach. So the White House is calling their shot like, say your prayers, Zach, will bless. But also what I thought was clever is open the gates. That's playing off a Zach Bryan song.
Yeah.
Something in the orange. That's playing off
Trump.
No, that's
I thought
that's
maybe it was
Zach
playing
Bryan.
off of Trump. Something in the orange, man.
It is, but that's his Zach Bryan's song.
No,
Something
yeah, I know.
in the-
I know.
And so what they're saying to Zach is like, man, we're your base, you idiot.
Yeah.
There'll be leftists that will read the statement that will have no idea that they're making clever references to Zach's music.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're saying, Zach, man, we love you. Why are you taking a dump on us? And again, I don't think it's a surprise. I think most people kind of suspected that Zach may not be full. Am I right in this, or did people think he leaned right?
I never did. I never thought he did, but
you thought he was a leftist.
yeah, and I didn't really think he was anything, but I didn't think he leaned to the right. I didn't think he was this big left-leaning liberal guy. I just knew he had a younger take on the world, a younger take on the world, like, which is usually liberal, like what's the old saying?
I don't know. Charlie Kirk and these guys have really converted a lot of these young people that
they absolutely have, and that's a problem. That's a problem, Jason. You know that. I mean, it's a problem. I mean, this is another thing I told you. I was with two younger songwriters today working, and both of them hate this song. They hate what he's doing.
Yeah.
They literally hate it, and they love Charlie Kirk, and there's so many like paradoxes and juxtapositions in the music business. Everything is so tweaked because like all the writers that are in the room are usually lean, a lot of them conservative, but they don't say anything. They can't say anything because they're in a business now that's saying, hey, don't write about that anymore. Don't sing about that anymore. Well, let's not use those themes anymore. Like, and it's being pushed on them. So when they get a chance to talk about it with somebody like me, it's just like, it's wide open, but they're not happy with this.
Nate Smith's not happy. He had some things to say.
Yeah, he did, right? He did.
Yeah, yes. Let's play Nate Smith.
I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to say it one time only. If you are in country music, you're a country music artist, and you are anti-American, you hate America, you don't share the values of Americans, we don't want you here. We don't want you in our genre. We want you out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Thoughts?
Okay. Again, I am on probably the same side with him.
Yes.
But what he's saying, this is art, man. Everybody's got to be able to say whatever they want to say, how they want to say it, any way they want to say it, wrong or right. You got to put the piece of artwork out there to be judged by the public, and either it makes a statement or it just gets overlooked. I'm in line with what he's saying, but I'm also of the mind that you got to let everybody gets to play. And the public will determine at the end of the day with their dollar who gets the vote. That's always the way it goes in the music business. But you got to be able to say, think about a song like "Born in the USA." Iconic 50-year copyright that's probably made $100 million or more in royalties. But that aside, it was a statement, and I wasn't for it. You know, it was anti-Vietnam, anti-government. That's the main thing. It was an anti-government song about Vietnam. Pointing fingers, because I'm old enough to remember, at Richard Nixon, when Lyndon Johnson is the one that put everybody over there. It was a Democrat in the first place. But that song became iconic to that generation because of the way those vets were treated when they came home. Remember, they were spit on.
Yeah.
They were not honored when they came home. It was their fault somehow. And then all these years later, when COVID happens and all this stuff happens, and we see what Joe Biden's doing with the nation and how they're spinning all the politics and the narratives, he walks with the man. And as opposed to being that guy that's anti-government. That's what we are. And people will say, and I got to say this because people will say to me, "You're a stupid redneck. You're a dumb hillbilly redneck. You think that song's about rah, rah, rah America." It's like, no, I don't. They think we're stupid and we don't understand the meaning of the Springsteen song. We all thought it was a flag waving song and not a protest song. We all knew that. We were also against sticking it to the man. That's what they don't realize. And when I say they, I mean the left mindset thinks that hillbillies and rednecks are all dumb and we can't think our way out of a box and we don't understand what Bruce Springsteen was saying. We understood perfectly. Do you follow?
I do follow what you're saying, but here's what I've always thought about that song. And I hate to use this analogy, but it's the only one that fits. It's like black people have bought into the false narrative that, hey, we've changed the N-word, and when we say it, it means this or that. And I think many people have made it up in their mind that, yeah, Bruce Springsteen thinks he's trolling us, but you know what? This song works for us too. Mm-hmm. Born in the U.S. And so I think that you're right. People knew exactly what it was, but they just repurposed it to fit their belief.
Yeah.
And that's
what songs do.
Yes, I was
over
going to say
time.
this good music.
Over time, they change for
good music. When it strikes at something that's real, it can work either way. It's universal, and that's what, to me, Born in the USA feels universal, and people have made it a universal song. Works for left or right. This song here, I don't think it works for.
No,
it doesn't work for both sides. Again, it's no different. It's like It's like they're trying to take country music rap because like if you're Ice-T, you can make the song Cop Killer, and if you're NWA, you can make F the Police and all that. And this feels like, hey, we're taking country music a different direction.
Yeah.
And because country music just has been, for lack of a better description, I don't think there's anything negative about it. It's been kind of law and order. Hey, everybody be respectful.
Yeah.
And this it's been a celebration of American. And so when you start
American things.
Yeah, and when you start, I'm pro ICE, and everybody's looking out I'm anti ICE, and everybody's looking out into the world like, hey man, we've gone too far. We're losing the things that were unique about America, and we've invited everyone else in to do their own thing and to have a different culture and a different set of values. I think most wise Americans reject that. And so the thing that I would love to ask Zach Bryan was like, when you were in the military, who did you think you were serving? What did you think you were protecting? Mm-hmm. What is special about America that would make you say, you know what, I'm going to join the military and protect this country? What were those things?
Yeah, that's an absolutely valid question. I mean, yeah.
And so. I
mean, unless it was desperation to not have anywhere else to go, but to join the Army and
clearly
create a life for yourself, right?
It's both his parents were in the Navy as well, so I don't think it was desperation. And he does say in here, he's confused. He's a young guy that's confused, and he works in an industry that is a set of values are being pushed in that industry that probably don't conform or have synergy with his military service and his love of America, and so he is maybe legitimately confused.
I believe some of those things that at that age, and right now, I mean, we could not have grown can you imagine growing up in a time like this? I mean, we might have grown up in our own tough time, but not in this time is historic. What we're living through right now in the last probably 10 years. I can't imagine being a kid, growing up, having to grow up in this, and especially with parents not being the kind of parents they used to be. Their parents are more like friends now. There's a whole thing to speak of in the whole last generation of kids. But I get that his confusion might be real, and that might be a sincere thought. But I still think you just say it and you get out of the way. You build your little thing and you get out of the way, and that's what we do. We're creating art in our own little way. We're not painting, we're not sculpting, but we're writing and putting music to it, and it's its own form of art, obviously, and it defines our generations, and it's American culture. You got to look at it that way too. Like, you have all these genres of American music that were created in America in the last 100 years, from blues to country to bluegrass to rock and roll to soul to Philly soul to Memphis soul to punk music to Nirvana in Seattle. All these different music things that have happened around America and have defined the world. The music has defined the world, and I just think you have to stand in front of your work, basically. Like if you look at all those artists, maybe they weren't being political. You could look at Kurt Cobain, and he wasn't being political, but he was lashing out at the man with his music in his own way. It was not in a political environment like it is now, but he was lashing out with all those songs at the man. You know what I mean? And that was the idea of rock and roll. Stick it to the man. Less government.
I'm trying to figure out if he puts it out, who is the target audience? Who's going to buy it?
Well, it's got to be the younger fans, and like I said, it's going to stand there, and we're going to see where the nation is at, where it's real. You know what it is? It's like a litmus test. It's like because we see all this crap media on TV, we don't know what to believe anymore, right? And then we get a little piece of something like this, and we're going, wow, okay, here we go. Here's a little piece of a nuclear, little piece of, what do you call it? Like
kryptonite.
Kryptonite. What? Thank you. Like, it's a little piece of kryptonite sitting there. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? It's like a little truth bomb that's sitting there that everybody's feeling something, and whether or not you agree with what he's saying, everybody's feeling this thing. And it's going to expose itself one way or the other, and we're going to get that real honest view of, do every kid in that generation that follows him, do they feel the same way he feels? Do they feel like F the police officers, F ICE, F Donald Trump, F Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk's a Nazi. Do they really feel this way? I don't think so. And we're going to find out. But I could be wrong, but
Butter, does this song work? Does it have an audience?
It's not a radio song.
It's not a radio song.
Most of his songs aren't.
Yeah.
So this is an angle for him that creates streams and stays in the public eye. So I think that's why it works.
Oh, you got to predict this. Butter thinks this is going to work, or has a chance at working.
To create streams.
Create
buzz.
Yeah. So yeah, I think people are going to get. It's going to be so much press on it that people are going to click to hear it, and they're going to. I don't know if they're going to buy it or not, or stream it. It's going to be. You have to wait and see what happens. But
where does, in my view, like Morgan Wallen's at the top of the industry.
Yeah.
Where does Zach Bryan fit in? If we were doing tiers. Is he second tier, third tier?
I think he's right there. I just think he's a different. Apples and oranges. He's like if Morgan's an apple, he's an orange. He's kind of like if you look again, you look to the past and you look at like Waylon and Willie. in the era of 1980s country, which was very pop and very safe. It was Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. It was, Alabama. And then you had like Hank Williams Jr. and you had Waylon and Willie, Chris Christopherson. You had these outlaw guys that represented it. They were outside the box. They weren't in Nashville. They were in Austin. They were in other places. But they were having amazing success. Willie and Waylon became a thing in the 70s and the 80s. It was like a thing that you loved because it wasn't mainstream Nashville. It was almost like the punk rock of country at the time, if you could give it a label. So there's always those eras going on. And Hank Jr. was hated by many, but loved by the country. Country Boy Can't Survive is still the greatest song of all time in country music. It's coming back to be proven true right now. It's getting quoted everywhere. How
many artists in 2025, 2026 can put 112,000 people inside of a stadium?
Very few.
In
But
the country
but really
genre.
quick to just backtrack to answer your question, because I didn't get to the solid answer, but I think he is not in the same league as a Morgan Wallen, but he's in the game. He's definitely in the game. He has got a huge fan base. He's got his own thing going, his own sort of faction of the country audience. It's not necessarily the mainstream audience too. Part of the mainstream, but he's got a little bit of the outside faction too.
Give me other Morgan Wallen, obviously, but who else could put 112,000 people inside of a stadium in country music right now? Luke Combs,
and maybe Cody Johnson together. I don't know if they could do it separately, but maybe. I think, and if you look at the past, you could maybe Kenny Chesney could still fill a pretty big stadium because he's a lifestyle thing now, and people love his lifestyle brand of country music, and they still go to see him in those kind of numbers. But it's not the same game, right? It's not the right now game.
Chris Stapleton could not, or
Stapleton.
could.
But and again, Stapleton's another one. He's
A leftist.
but apples, oranges, and bananas. He's another faction of country music that is beyond country music. He's kind of his own thing. He's carved his own niche. He's a one of a kind original, singer-songwriter in a market that's very predictable. He's very different in that market. So I think he kind of exists by himself too. But I don't know if he's going to sell 110. I don't know. You might know that better than me. Do we have numbers on Chris? He's got a pretty big fan base, but
He's pretty mainstream.
But I would put it at those two people. I don't think there's many more that could fill that stadium.
All right, so 6 months from now, or 6 months from now, you think he's paying a price for this? That you think there's a chance this is Dixie Chicks all over again? No.
My honest gut, Jason, is I don't think it's as big of a deal. I really don't, and mainly because he didn't put the song out. He teased. If he put the song out and we could see the whole lyric and what, because you want to get the whole scope of. Maybe he was just randomly. Maybe he was smoking pot and he wrote a lyric and it's just random thoughts, or maybe he really thought out a thing that he wanted to say to the world, right? Because that's what we do. I know what we do. I know what's going on in that room every day. If we're faking it or we're doing it real.
Song never comes out, in my opinion. This was a test. He got the blowback, and the song never comes out.
I'm with you. Time will tell, obviously, right? But and I think even if it does, cat's out of the bag now.
And I think it leaks that he's dating Kamala Harris. I think that'll leak at some point.
No, that's already been proven true.
Kamala Harris sex tape with Zach Bryan leaks. That's my prediction.
It's an amazing controversy, though, but it's certainly not the first time. And the one thing that I know, I've been around for a long time in this format in Los Angeles and Nashville. The public always knows what they want. At the end of the day, they always seem to know. And if he's really saying something that the world is feeling, you know what I mean? He'll be Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard was that guy in the 60s during Vietnam singing, they're corny songs now to people, but Okie from Muskogee and Fight Inside of Me and Snowball Headed for Hell were genius songs. And Merle leaned to the left, but he spoke those things almost as a straight up conservative, and the public reacted and loved in the country music market is what I'm saying. But and the whole world loved those songs except the 112,000 in that stadium.
You gave me enough time to remember the one last thing that I wanted to talk to you about as it relates to this. You told a story before we started taping about when you were in a band, and it seemed like you were insinuating that as a group you would kind of talk amongst yourself and do something bold, because you would stand together as a group. And I say that to reference that we don't have bands as often anymore.
No.
Everybody's a solo artist. Mm-hmm. And that's
everybody's building a brand.
Yeah, and that's why the music, I think, is less courageous.
Absolutely.
It's more when you're in a group and it's 3 or 4 guys, you can talk, man, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to do blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we're going to stand together. And at least you have someone in the foxhole with you.
Yeah.
When you're a solo artist, it's your publicist, it's the record executive that's in the foxhole with you, and they're always going to choose money.
Yeah.
And
that's why I brought up the Springsteen thing, because it goes all the way back to that. It's a publicist. It's Rolling Stone magazine propping him up, making him the guy, and it's that. And but to your point, the idea of a group of guys just going for it, it's what this thing's all about. It's what music's all about. Music's not like forcing a song to come out that you think needs to be written because it sounds like a Morgan Wallen song. It's really finding a thing to come out of you, and that's what that era was to me. And I was telling you also pre-show that back in the 90s, when I wrote a song with Craig Wiseman called Hell Yeah, at that time there wasn't a political environment like there was now. I mean, it was post 9/11, but it wasn't like it was now. But you couldn't say Hell Yeah on the radio. You couldn't do certain kind of musical things that weren't super traditional country, like certain chord changes that weren't normal to country music. And we just went for those things because we were having the time of our lives, and we believed in it. We believed in the music that we grew up on, and we wanted to have our own music that was us, that was original to us. Like, we didn't care if the world hated our music. That was the thing too. I still don't. I still don't care if you hate my music. I have to write what I have to write, right? So we would just put it out there, and sure enough, we'd go out into the bars and we'd play in the bars, and everybody was dancing, and we were like, wow, we got something. This is somehow resonating. And really, what it was a generation of kids looking for something new to listen to, a new sound. That we were coming down the road at that time when things were changing musically, and we had a window to go through and do all the stuff that we loved growing up playing music, and bring that into, whether it was the Eagles, Stevie Wonder, you pick a name, anybody. We could put that into our music. And of course, everybody in Nashville at that time was going, no. The thing that glued us together was the story. It was still the values, the traditions of what the American audience loves to hear in country music, wrapped around some new vibes, some new jams, some new, just different spots for your ears to go that country music audience really never gone there before. And we took hits for that. It wasn't really political, but we were like, man, we're just having a good time. And we play in a bar and people seem like they really like these songs. And the next thing you know, one radio station came around, another one came around, and it became the thing, became the new thing. Just like 5 years after that, Luke Bryan became the new thing. 5 years after that, Morgan Wallen became the new thing. And 5 years after that, the next guy will become the next thing. It changes, you know that. It changes every 5 to 7 years. The politics are always going to be a factor, but I just wish he had to put the song out. I just wish I got to see the whole lyric as a songwriter.
Well, we're going to end on that note. Jeffrey wants Zach to put the whole song out. Zach, if you're watching, listening, put the whole song out. All right, that's all for us from BYOG. We'll see you next time.
Bring your own guitar, old buddy. Bring your old guitar. We'll talk and drink and laugh and sing, but bring your own guitar.